This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this? Mm-hmm. Dun, 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 dun.
This is a sham.
No. Nope.
Y'all, just stop. Get real.
Welcome to DBL. We're so grateful you're joining us. We're also, hi, Jeff.
What's up?
Hi.
It's nice to be back
It's
in
nice
studio.
to see you.
I'm not like, shh.
I know,
my
your
kids
children
behind me, yeah.
running everywhere. We also want to say hi to Miss Lindsay. Miss Lindsay, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. Kinsley and I had a fun weekend. We went to Telluride and stayed at this hotel called the Madeline, and she was in the snow and eating food with us. And this is our first trip with Kinsley that was like a fun trip. So we were all tired, but we had a great time.
I'll tell you right something. I wanted to be on that trip. Thank you. Good one, Steve.
I'm ready to go back home.
How do you have the sound effect ready?
I know. All right, now let's turn to some horrible news that I don't want to get to, but we have to. As many of you have probably heard, there was a horrible hostage situation in Texas over the weekend. So let me try and paint the picture to all of you. A gunman held hostages at a synagogue for nearly 11 hours. Now the rabbi, who's the person in charge, is talking about what he did to free himself and two others. Take a look.
Last hour or so of the standoff, he wasn't getting what he wanted. We were terrified. I made sure that the two gentlemen who were still with me, that they were ready to go. The exit wasn't too far away. I told them to go. I threw a chair at the gunman, and I headed for the door. And all three of us were able to get out without even a shot being fired.
That kind of blank sound is what people have with like trauma. You can hear like nothing there. Another one of the hostages said they were able to escape thanks to the active shooter training they got, which prepared them for what to do. Meantime, the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security are warning every faith-based community that they will likely remain targets of violence.
All right, Tori, we talked a little bit about this before we started. Why don't you break it down a little bit more for us?
Yeah.
Let me just say my piece real fast. I don't understand the Jewish hate. Like, you've been explaining to me for years, but I just don't get it. I don't understand hate in general.
Right.
Because of someone's religion, you hate them? I could kind of wrap my head around it, like in the Middle East, the religious wars going on.
With the lands and everything.
It kind of it doesn't make sense, but I could kind of wrap my head around it. To hate somebody for what they believe in or who they are, I can't wrap my head around that.
It makes no sense. And I think a lot of people agree with you. Just so you guys know, I go to a temple in D.C., and it's the largest temple in D.C., and on the highest of holy days, when I go to pray with my family, from the first 2 blocks in, there are guns, people with guns. And as I approach, I'm then seen with a metal detector. And my family and I are all dressed up and we walk through the metal detector. We are then patted down and my purse is then looked through. And my dad's talit bag is looked through. That's our prayer shawl. Then we have armed guards as we walk and 3 different people checking our tickets to confirm we are who we say we are. Because someone wants to kill me and my family as we pray. Because I'm Jewish, just like you said. It's an awful, long-standing, ancient hate, and it tells me that our Jewish brothers and sisters are not safe here, as are many other religions. And it also tells me that we've gotten really used to this, Lindsay, so much so that the rabbi knew what to do and said it without any emotion, and they had active shooter training, and now it's routine. What do you think?
And just like you hear in the rabbi's voice, there was a blankness. In your voice, I hear just such a concern. It makes me tear up thinking about like your experience of just going to church. I was reading a little bit about this, and 60% of active shootings in the U.S. Are over before the police arrive. And so for me, with the trainings that you're getting, it's like terribly scary. And sometimes I'm like, oh, is that overwhelming? Especially when they're doing them in schools now that I have a kid. But I think it's important to, when you get in that fight or flight mode, if that ever happens, not only protect yourself like your church does to make sure that it doesn't happen, but if it ever does and somebody gets through there, you have to kind of know how to just not be scared and protect yourself as much as possible, or not be scared to the extent that you can. And it's unfortunate that's where we are today, but it can happen in the grocery store like we've seen. It can happen in churches. It's happening everywhere where people are just shooting. And so the more that you have some kind of awareness on what you might do, the more you can prepare yourself for anything.
I just feel like America's got to take a long, hard look at herself. If we can't pray and be vulnerable and go to school with our vulnerable children and not feel safe and have to also put in our bandwidth where are the exits, right? I just want to talk to my God and myself and be quiet and meditate. And I'm thinking there might be a shooter next to me. All of that is, we got to take a long, hard look at ourselves. I also just want to read you this. This is Rabbi Charlie Kytron Walker, that's who the rabbi was. He let the gunman inside the Fort Worth synagogue on Saturday because, quote, he appeared to need shelter. That is a Jewish tradition that on Passover, we open our door, literally. We have to open our door in case anybody is hungry or needs shelter. He came in, he said the man was not threatening, but later, and this will echo with me for a long time, he heard a gun click as he prayed. Moving on, please write us in if you feel anything, want to say anything, and have thoughts about that. But we also want to send our thoughts and prayers to people living in Tonga. We're seeing satellite images of the Pacific Island nation, which is covered in ash. This is also blocking people from getting to Tonga, just so you guys know, for help. An underwater volcano exploded late last week, sending the ash about 19 miles into the sky. 19 miles, Jeff. The explosion sent a huge shockwave across the globe. Check out these satellite images showing just how massive it was. Brooks, my husband, thought these were fake when I first showed them. Jeff, what'd you think?
I mean, do they have something in place over there because of the islands erupting? I don't know. I don't know how you prepare for something like this. Those satellite images were horrific.
Terrifying.
That it was covered in ash. So, I mean, I hate saying thoughts and prayers.
I know.
But thoughts and prayers to everyone over there. I don't know the destruction that ash causes. I'm sure it gets in your lungs. It's a terrible thing, but hopefully they have something in place that helps them in some sort of way, right?
Yeah, and I know, for instance, Lindsay, ash is blocking planes from coming in from other countries to help them with water and essentials. So that's one thing. What do you think, Linz?
Right, what you're talking about, some of the things that I read that it's doing is contaminating the water, so just their water supply, and then food is becoming a disparity quickly. And so with help trying to get in there from other countries and not being able to land on the runway because there's so much ash, it just is a terrible situation. And so I'm just hoping that they can find workarounds. It's kind of like those natural disasters. You can prepare for them as much as possible in some cases, but in this case, you know, if you can't land a plane or get supplies in there, it's almost like you're feeling helpless.
Yeah, and I just remember this interesting thing. The Maldives is another group of islands that you can go to, and they're slowly sinking, literally going underwater. And at some point, these islands we're going to have climate refugees of people who can't literally live there anymore. So climate change, in my mind, needs to be fixed. I'm not saying this is connected to it. I'm just bringing that up. Coming up on DBL, our interview with Real Housewives star Dorit Kemsley, how she's healing after a terrifying home invasion. And we got our doc, Dr. Coley. She's answering all our latest questions about COVID. No fear, just facts. She joins us coming up next.
Closed captioning provided by
Kind of a heavy block, I would say, for my first time back. I haven't been back. If you are new to watching or haven't been watching, obviously some of us are home because of COVID, so I'm back in the studio one day this week. Very happy to be back and get out of the house. But I wanted to talk to Tori a little bit more about the story that we were talking about, because before we started the show, Tori was filling me in with more details that I think might be helpful for you guys. So maybe a couple of more details about that whole story.
Yeah, so someone wrote that shockwave looks like what you think about with the dinosaurs.
I was going to say the Jewish.
Yes, I know. I was just also saying that. You're like, not the explosion. They're two bad things. Okay. Yeah. Just so you know, the guy let him in. They were having Shabbat. If you don't know what Shabbat is, it's Sabbath, the day of rest. So if you're really observant, you don't even turn on a light switch. You can't flush a toilet. You can't use an elevator button. You can't use a radio. All of these are too much work. You're meant to sit and pray. So the day of Sabbath, people have to come. They had enough people. They had online people watching the service, and the gunman clicked and took them all hostages. And the people online were able to call the cops and say, hey, we were just on a Sabbath service, and they're being held, it's under attack. And there was just this hours and hours of nothingness, 11 hours, where they let someone go. But the main point was the gunman wanted an Al-Qaeda operative released in exchange for these hostages. So a prisoner exchange, that's never gonna happen. We don't negotiate with terrorists in this country. So the rabbi knew that and knew he had to get out. and did it himself and saved everybody. The gunman is been killed by the police, and I'm not going to say his name or who he wanted to save, but our Jewish brothers and sisters are extremely vulnerable right now, as are our Asian brothers and sisters, and our Black brothers and sisters, and really everyone. And just remember, America was here for religious freedom. That's why we started this whole country. So let's keep that in mind. Am I not? Welcome back to DBL. Although COVID cases have dropped almost 50% in the U.S., that's great, officials have issued a warning to not become complacent. This doctor is not complacent about anything. This is Dr. Coley. We're so lucky to have you. She joins us live to explain why and to answer just some more medical questions. So hi, Doc. It's good to see you. We wanted to know how
Hi, guys.
Hi, love. How likely is it that the Omicron variant will be the very final phase of the pandemic? Like, we can stop at this Greek letter.
Yeah, that would be lovely, wouldn't it? So before I answer that question, let me ask you guys, who here likes to ride roller coasters? Raise your hand.
I do.
Good. Just okay, Jeff and Lindsay, not Tori. Okay, so when you're going up the hill of the roller coaster, what is the first thing you're thinking?
I'm gonna
How
die.
quickly am I gonna come down, right? Like, is it a steep drop off? Is it a shallow drop off? Like, how quickly does that roller coaster come back down? So guess what we're doing right now with Omicron? We are riding that roller coaster up the hill. We are almost at the top of the hill. In some places we are at the top. What I would like to see, and I like riding roller coasters, get it over with. Come down as quickly as possible, and we get our lives back to normal. What we don't yet know, because we don't yet know Omicron's immunity, we don't yet know if another variant is looming on the horizon, is whether or not that tail might take a little bit longer and it might be a more gradual come down. So the short answer, guys, we don't yet know. We're riding that up the mountain.
That's the worst part, right? When you get to the very tippy top.
That's the
Get me off
Yeah.
of me. Guy will get off. All right, go ahead, Linz.
Dr. Coley, you know that I just recently got PCR tested and rapid tested, and I'm finally COVID-free, thank God. I got negative results. But
Congrats.
Can I walk around knowing that I won't catch it again because I have some kind of immunity since I just had it? Or is there a chance I can get another strain, like, immediately?
This is a great question, Lindsay, and it's probably in a lot of Americans' minds because a lot of people are in this situation. So what we know about coronavirus is that it's a cold family of viruses, which means the immunity does not last you for the rest of your life. It does go away. But we also know that the highest level of immunity occurs usually immediately after the infection. What we saw with previous variants was that it'll probably last you 2 or 3 months or so. So you're probably well protected for that time, including protection against Delta. But after that period of time, you may be susceptible for reinfection. So I would just continue to keep your guard up. But the good news is right after you recover from an infection, your immunity levels are really the highest.
Doc, what's the probability of a fourth vaccine?
So I think, guys, we should stop counting at this point. Have we counted how many flu shots we've gotten in our lives? No, right? So we need to stop counting third, fourth. The probability of a fourth shot of the exact same vaccine that we've already been getting, very low. Only the immunocompromised people are going to get it because we have data that tells us that even though fourth shot of the exact same vaccine boosts your antibodies, it's still not good enough for Omicron. So what I think our next shot is going to be is this updated vaccine that the Pfizer CEO has been talking about, which is the Omicron specific vaccine. That's the one that I know I'm going to get because I don't want to keep getting the same thing of the old one that's now almost 2 years old.
Doc, I have a personal question about COVID. Has it been tested in extreme temperatures? Meaning, like, is it more? Does it pass easier in like 70-degree temperature? What if you're in a sauna, it's 120? What if you're freezing and you're skiing and it's 0? Is there any difference in how it passes due to temperature?
Yeah, so we do know that there are differences based on what the environment is doing. Now, this is all based on the original variant, so we don't yet know how it translates to Omicron, but we know that it spreads most efficiently, Jeff, in cold and dry temperatures. And so if it's really hot, like in the summer, things were a little bit better. There was less transmission of Omicron. Now, part of that could also be behavioral, of course, because when you're in very cold temperatures, what do you tend to do? Gather indoors, right? And turn up the AC. You don't have a lot of ventilation as opposed to hot, humid temperatures. We got lots of air going and you've got all the windows open. You might be sitting outside. So some of it is virus, some of it is behavior, but we do know that the winter times are the highest risk for transmission of the infection.
Yeah, Tori had a personal question too.
Don't,
that
Jeff.
She wanted to ask what?
This isn't personal. This is just in the prompter.
No, I mean, she's a doctor, Tori.
In other news, there's a new study about people going into cardiac arrest during sex. What are the odds of this happening?
Tori.
Are you sure that's in the prompter, Tori?
We want to know what the odds of this happening are.
You know, guys, let's talk about this because I'm so glad that this study came out. And Tori is right. There was a study that just came out about cardiac arrest during sex. And we used to think that it's only old men that get it because having sex is a stress test on the heart. It puts stress on your heart to have sex. We used to think it's only old men that might die as a result of sex. But what this new study shows us that out of 1,000 people that may have had a cardiac arrest or their heart may have stopped, 2 out of 1,000 it happened because of sex. And if you look at those people and say, well, who are these people that are dying during sex? You know, the average age is only 38. And 1 out of 3 of them, Tori, are women. So it is really important for us to raise awareness about this. A lot of them didn't have pre-existing cardiac problems. So I don't want us to fear sex. But at the same time, I want us to be aware that this kind of an electrical problem could happen during sex. And God forbid it happens to our partner. We need to know what the right things to do are, which is start CPR, of course, call 911 right away, because the faster you get them resuscitated, the better the prognosis.
No fear, just facts.
No fear, just facts. Wow, what a hearty discussion. That was excellent. Maybe work on exertion, all of that. Thank you so much, Doctor. We appreciate you. If you have a question, any question apparently, you want answered by Dr. Coley, go ahead and write us on social media. You can also email info@dailyblastlive.com. We'll be right back. Thank you, Doc. Lindsay.
2021 was a lot like 2020 when it came to the government's help. We saw stimulus checks, child tax credits, and boosted unemployment benefits. So we are verifying what could affect your tax returns this year. Our sources for these answers are CEO of Alloy Wealth, Mark Henry, and the IRS. The first question, if you received an advance child tax credit, could that affect your tax returns?
They qualified based off of 2020, but if they made more money in 21 when they actually file their taxes, they may get a surprise. They may actually owe money back to the IRS because they received that tax credit but got a raise.
According to the IRS, in 2021, the American Rescue Plan increased the child tax credit for families who qualified. However, Henry says if you received more money in 2021 than the IRS was estimating you would make, then you might have to pay some of it back. Next, if you worked from home, can you claim that as a home office? According to the IRS, unless you are self-employed, you cannot write off home office expenses as deductions.
Unless you're self-employed, you cannot do that.
And finally, will the new tax brackets released by the IRS affect your taxes? According to the IRS, income tax brackets and the standard deduction have been adjusted to reflect inflation.
The actual tax brackets themselves, this is a good thing, they went up a little bit. So they went up anywhere from 1% to 3%. So depending upon your deductions, how much you end up taking out of your check, some people, let's say you didn't get a raise and you're going to make the same income as you made last year, you may not have to take out quite as much during the year.
According to the IRS, this went into effect for 2022, so you won't see this on your tax returns this year. You'll see it affect the taxes you file in 2023. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
Welcome back to DBL. She's one of the most fashionable housewives in Beverly Hills, but the past couple of months have been far from glamorous for Dorit Kemsley. Earlier, we spoke with her about her recent home invasion. It was terrifying. Take a look.
Dorit Kemsley, welcome to DBL. Hello. Hi, Erica. Hi, Al. Happy to be here.
Hey, girl, we're happy to have you. Let's get started because 2021 was quite the year for you. You had some amazing accomplishments, including your fabulous bridal collection with Nectaria. But let's be honest, and I want to say this with a great deal of empathy, your home invasion in October was absolutely earth-shattering. So how are you doing as we kick off 2022?
Well, I can tell you I am doing better and better every day. Thank goodness. You know, it's a life-changing experience to go through something like that, but I am very fortunate, you know, the outcome. I'm here today. My children are okay. They're safe. They're healthy. They're well. And still to this day, you know, they don't know about it. So the rest, Mommy can do, one day at a time.
It's a great way to look at it. I mean, traumatic experiences remind us all that this experience of life is just short. So have these last few months that have been obviously traumatic had you wanting to mend any broken relationships as you move forward, because you don't know what happens day to day?
So true, Al. And I think that, you know, generally speaking, you'd probably, you know, consider those things. I think for me, it was really about focusing on family and really finding ways to navigate the new me, because I was a changed person. I'm not going to lie. You know, I jumped right back into filming, and I did so because of the outcome, you know, and for my children, when they woke up the next day, it was just a normal day for them. And it was very important to me that, you know, I continue to give that to them. So you'll see a lot of what I went through and am going through on the new season of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. But, you know, for me, the last couple of months, and it's only been a short couple of months, 2 or 3 months, it's been, the focus is mostly on the family and then myself. But I don't have any enemies, Al, so I don't have any, you know, friendships I need to mend.
I'm happy to hear that. Let me get into another person I'm going to put on the hot seat, because that's Andy Cohen. Now, Andy Cohen was recently asked about the most iconic housewife fashion-wise. My immediate thought was, of course, it's Dorit, but he said Erica Jane. So what is your response to that?
I mean, if that's his opinion, that's his opinion. You know, I think Erica, she's very fashionable. You know, she's synonymous with it. She puts a lot of effort into her looks. You know, I applaud her, and I think she's fantastic. So, you know, it's not a competition. I think that, you know, to each their own, and you know, I'll give him when I see him again.
I like how she said it's not a competition.
No,
girl, we all know
needed.
it's a competition. Come on now.
Absolutely. Now you need to talk to me, because I'm the father of 3. You have 2 little ones. So tell us how Amazon Glow is helping your family stay connected this new year, because I need to know, along with other fellow parents.
Oh my goodness. I tell you, this is going to change your life and your little one's life. Amazon Glow, it's an interactive projector and video calling device, and it allows you to stay connected to extended family or loved ones. And it allows my kids to draw and play and do puzzles and interact with loved ones that aren't in the room or in the state. But as a parent, Al, you should be on that right when we get off this call.
I'm excited. I will purchase one soon.
Yeah, you need it. I just want to thank you for joining our show. And to our viewers, check out Amazon.com/glow to get yours today. Dorit, it has been an honor and a pleasure, girl.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Happy New Year.
All right,
Happy New Year. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
It's so easy.
That sound means it is time to verify. The CDC says Omicron is now the dominant COVID strain in the U.S., causing surging metrics on par and even surpassing last year's peak. Testing is subsequently in high demand with low supply in some areas. You certainly don't want to waste a hard-to-get at-home test. So let's verify. Is it true the optimal time to test for Omicron is 5 days after exposure for most accurate results? Well, our sources are the CDC, an MIT study published in the Annals of Internal Medicine, and Dr. Chris Uhl, infectious diseases physician for Atrium Health, Wake Forest Baptist.
The time to test following an exposure to COVID is roughly 3 to 5 days. For both Delta and Omicron, probably closer to 3 days makes more sense because the virus is more transmissible. And it tends to cause infection faster.
So yes, testing 3 to 5 days after exposure is best, and that's a slight difference from the 5 to 7 days health experts recommended in 2020 and early 2021 before Delta and Omicron entered the picture. And timing is key. A 2020 MIT study looked into the probability of a false negative on a COVID test. On the first day after a probable exposure, the likelihood of a false negative was 100%. That percent decreased with each passing day. And the CDC has updated its isolation and quarantine guidelines for Omicron, saying the science shows transmission occurs 1 to 2 days prior to symptom onset and in the 2 to 3 days after. So in all exposure scenarios, whether you're vaccinated or not, the CDC suggests you test on day 5 after coming in contact with someone with COVID. And with this variant, any type of test that is FDA approved can give accurate results.
Either a PCR test or a rapid antigen test is fine, and the home tests are fine for doing it as well.
In conclusion, we verified, yes, it's true. The optimal test time for Omicron is still 5 days after exposure. But given how fast Omicron spreads, you can test as early as 3 days and likely have accurate results. With your Verify, I'm Megan Malaris.
More than $1 billion in student loans are being forgiven after a new settlement. Navient, a loan management company, announced that it reached a settlement with attorneys general in 39 states over alleged unfair and deceptive student loan practices. As part of the settlement, Navient will cancel loan balances of approximately 66,000 borrowers with certain qualifying private education loans. After the settlement was announced, some federal student loan borrowers were wondering if their debt would be forgiven. So let's verify. Does the Navient settlement cancel loans for federal student loan borrowers? We went to these sources for an answer. The settlement will lead to the cancellation of $1.7 billion in private student loans and $95 million in small restitution payments for some borrowers of federal loans, according to the settlement website. Federal borrowers, however, are not eligible for loan forgiveness as part of the settlement. Instead, restitution payments of about $260 each will be distributed to approximately 350,000 federal student loan borrowers who were placed into certain types of long-term forbearances, according to the Massachusetts government's FAQ page on the Navient settlement.
All right, Lindsay, I just want to get your take on what Dr. Coley said about the heart and the cardio and making love. Your face was hilarious. Wanted your take.
I was trying to stay out of it. That was your question. I thought, and Jeff was trying to set you up, alley-ooping it like it was a personal one. I was really surprised about like 38. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I know.
Is there something I need to be considering right now?
I know. Someone wrote, Tori, you're too old by now.
For a little inside baseball, Dr. Coley sent that question because she wanted to talk about it a little bit. But sometimes you got to do the uncomfortable thing.
You got to do it. That's our job. DBL's new every day. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. It is Coley's job. It's not.